Hey Denny, are you staying down in Florida? Or are you out of the state?
No, I'm here. I'm here in Fort Myers.
How's everything going down there? I know they're sending a lot of support in from KW Cares. Is it getting any better, livable?
Well, yes, for some, and for others, it won't be livable. This James,
Yeah,
yeah, for others, it won't be livable for some time. I mean, the what the media is showing is the flooding closer to the coast and the beach and houses. I was at the distribution center today, and one of the agents office, the only thing that's left is the building's gone, the roof is just flat on the ground. I mean, it's just, there's nothing. So we're talking about probably years or
right.
some.
So is the market just completely dead then as far as any activity? I mean, there's nothing going on, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do and everyone's trying to just survive, huh?
Well, that's interesting. I had a conversation with Kristen. She happens to be here in town for a few days, and our phone is ringing. There's people, I think there's going to be a real surge in real estate, and there's going to be some people that want to get out of Dodge, and there will be some that will want to replace them. And I think the beach is going to be able to, the coastal properties are going to build back better, so to speak, not to borrow somebody else's term.
Right.
Anyway, I appreciate you asking. I think that there's no doubt our market suffered the trauma.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we'll come out of it.
Good morning, Denny. Good morning, everyone. Hi.
Morning, Glenda. Kevin, thanks for being on.
I'd like to say that some home buyers, they appreciate the less competition out there. So I think there's more room for people to purchase a home, actually. So it looks, we can't go by what we hear, really. So
Yeah.
It's a great day.
Well, there'll be an interruption in the closing process because of inspections, re-inspections. However, we will move on. And I appreciate you being on. It's 1 o'clock. Welcome to Mastery, Denny Grimes, Mastery of Real Estate, as we practice question-based, listing-enhanced conversations. And I am a one-arm paper hanger today. I'm coming to you from, if you don't know already, Fort Myers, Florida. And we've been hit a week ago with, of course, Hurricane Ian. John McLeod is actually with his RV down at the distribution center, and all kinds of stuff's poured in, all kinds of support. President of Keller Williams actually flew in, was with us today, and they're taking good care of their agents and the public. Anyway, John's hobby is cooking on the grill, and so he likes slow cooking meat, and he's cooking for the volunteers. I've asked him to maybe pop on. He might be on via his phone, and maybe we can smell the brisket from here, from wherever you are. That would be awesome, right? So I trust you all are doing well. Today, we're going to be picking up on some of the objections you may be hearing. So I'm going to be watching the chat. I'm going to put it up there in just a second. And if you want to put in there, for example, for the new people here, just say hi to everyone, put in where you're from. And you guys, this was John's idea. I like it. You can put in where you're from, and you might be able to pick up some referrals as this grows. Remember, you might be seeing 10, 20, 30 people on the call. It's posted to my YouTube, and some of these get hundreds or seemingly hundreds of different views. So you never know where a referral may come from. So 1 second, please. I have to look at a different screen. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start at a role play. And my thought of the day, first, I always want to start with the thought of the day, is this. This is what I've learned in the last week, particularly since the storm has been here, is that whenever something happens, we happen to have a major storm, it covered a lot of territory. However, a lot of us have storms in our lives. It could be a personal situation, maybe a parent, a child, or maybe a job loss with one of the spouses. There is a period of shock. And so what I've seen is basically, it's been about 10 days and people are still in the helping mode. I really believe that one of the best things we can do, if you've had something that's happened to you, that's taking you out of your rhythm, out of your routine, I really think the best thing you can do when appropriate, even if you don't feel like it, is get back to your routine. And so I don't know what you're going through. However, the longer you kind of stay in what I call the zombie mode, and that's what a lot of people are doing here. They're kind of going through the motions. There's still a lot of gas lines, and there's some of the traffic signals aren't working yet. It's a little bit chaotic. I'm really working hard to get my team back to work. Our phones, somebody's already asked, our phones are ringing. People probably are wanting a place to stay, a place to rent. They've got a lot of questions on real estate, and I'm using that opportunity. I posted a video, and you might see it if you go to my socials, that I'm offering whatever help I can. Just, talking to people, no selling, answering their questions. I'm attempting to be what Gary Keller says, their local economist of choice, and maybe their local kind of maybe pastor of choice if they just need somebody to talk to and answer some questions about real estate. So that is my thought of the day. And we're going to step right in. If you want to play full on, if you want to grow during this hour, I'm going to ask you to go down there, that little bottom button, and I want you to raise your hand, and just raise your hand. And that means you want to participate in a role play. These are all going to be learning based, and we're going to do them at random. I've got a brand new slide. In fact, let me show you a couple things. If you can see behind me, what we do practice is question-based listening and enhanced conversation. So if you're new, I've got some experienced agents on here, like James, you should have your hand up. And I see other, oh, Dylan, oh, way to go. I see your hand up. That's awesome. What we want to do is ask great questions. That's what we practice, right? And so we are learning, we are gaining our mastery level at role play, and we like to follow a certain script or a certain model. Let me pull that up for you real quick here. And it is, just give me a second. For whatever reason, my mouse isn't going. Here we go. Right there. There's the model. So I see some hands up. And if you want to have a particular objection handled, maybe you've got an appointment, you're getting ready to go on, maybe you just got off an appointment and you want to learn from it, then basically put it in the chat and I'll do my best to look at it. So the first person to raise their hand is Ann. Ann, how are you?
Yes. Hi, Denny. Yes, good.
And you are from where?
I'm from Texas. Yes, north of Houston, Texas.
Texas. Okay. And let me see here a second. All right. So I'm going to keep the model back up here for a second. There we go. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the opportunity to pick a number between 1 and 10. And that will be the objection. I'm going to shuffle it, but it doesn't matter. You don't know what they are. And I'll set up the timer here in a second. And we're going to have a 4-minute conversation. And if somebody would like, okay, so I'll tell you what, just pick a number from 1 to 10 first.
9.
9 it is. Okay, this could be a buyer or seller concern. And just give me a second. And who would, do you have a preference on who you're talking to, a buyer or seller?
I talked to the seller.
All right, so I need a seller. I need someone to volunteer as a seller. So that's the easy part. And again, we don't want to be too easy. We don't want to be Freddy Krueger. I want you to be a seller, like would be a seller in your marketplace. So somebody who does not have their hand up, because you guys are going to be the agents. Somebody who does not have their hand up, step up and be the seller. Just speak up.
I'll give it a shot, Denny.
All right, Brian. All right, Brian Hood. All right, so here is the objection. We did this a week or so ago. This is your objection. This is at the table, and there's the model behind. Acknowledge, I understand. One thing I did want to point out this week that I haven't pointed out in a while, I have noticed a lot of agents want to spend too much time on the acknowledgement. Oh, I understand. I hear that all the time, but leave it alone. Just, I get it. If you can say that with an empathetic voice, or maybe you're better yet taking notes, you can get a nod. I understand. It's best if you don't dig yourself a hole. So here is the objection. Robin or Brian, you're saying at the table, as a seller, I'm concerned about the market. go. And I'm going to go over. Hang on a second. I'm so proud of this. I'm going to change this in just a second so I don't have to go back and forth. There we go. Go, Brian. Go, Ann. Go.
Yes. Hi. Is there anything else that you're concerned about?
Well, Ann, I'm watching the market and it's all over the place. And I think I want to wait. I think that would be the best thing for me.
What do you think the market is doing right now?
Well, you know, I watch the news and they're telling me that the prices are going down, really fast. So I think I'm going to wait until, it bottoms out. And then I'm going to get a good deal.
Oh, are you a buyer or a seller? Well,
I'm a buyer.
okay.
No, it's a seller. I think she wanted a seller.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Ready? Sorry about that.
Yes, yes.
Not enough coffee yet. You know what, Ann, I'm going to wait because I think this market's going to take off any time, but I want to wait. I'm going to get top dollar because my house is great.
Do you think it works on your favor in a couple of years or down the road from now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because again, I watch the news and I think I'm going to do well if I just wait longer.
Well, let me tell you this. For right now, we know how the market is acting, and we don't know it in the future. If we have, let me ask you this: if we are in the theater and it's on fire, then what would you want to do? Would you want to get out right now, or you want to wait till it burn down?
Well, Anna, I certainly would want to get out.
Yes, yes. So that's why I am here, and I would like to go to, maybe we can meet and brainstorm some idea on how to put your house on the market and get top money for your house right now.
All right, so
And,
hang
we'll
on,
get you
hang
out.
on, Ann. Hang on. I'm gonna call timeout. My timer's not working, so I've got it on my phone. So I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I'm gonna go. So we're gonna go through this again. You did
Yeah.
catch yourself. One of the things she said is, I would like to tell you something. In the way that we do this, we do question-based, so we don't ever want to tell. In fact, I don't even use that word.
Mhm.
So, Ann, watch this. We're gonna go through this again. I'm gonna go next in line. Dylan, are you ready? All right, come off mute.
Yep.
Go to the model, which is right here.
Yep.
And I want you, Brian, you're going to stay there. You've already heard the objection. I'm going to start my timer over again on my watch. Let's see. Let's handle it again. And this will be a learning experience for you because it looked like you were starting to not really know where you were driving. Let me just say this. Do you know when you don't know where you're going? Here's a telltale sign. Your words start adding up. You just keep going and going and going. When you're right on target, you will say less. Does that make sense? All right, Dylan, ready? Go.
Yep. All right. Yep. I absolutely get that. Brian, if you could remind me again, what actually brought you to think about selling?
Hang on. Do the
Yeah.
isolation first, Dylan.
I say, yeah. What was his objection? He just doesn't know about the market. Not too sure about the
I'm
market.
concerned about the market. Yes.
Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. Yep. I get that. Brian, what exactly about the market concerns you? What's your thought there?
I'm going to call timeout.
Yeah.
Now, you're starting to get clarity before you get isolation. So what I want you to do is isolate first, then get clarity. Other than that, is there any other reason you wouldn't list with me today?
Absolutely. Okay. Okay.
Go.
Brian, I get that. Other than that, is there any other reason why you wouldn't list with me today?
No, that's my primary concern.
That's the primary concern. All right, fantastic. Quick question for you. Could it be possible that, what you think about the market right now could be wrong?
I don't know. The guy on the news, he seemed pretty sure about what the market was doing.
Sure, sure. And what's your experience with selling homes?
Well, actually, this is the first home I've purchased, and I'm
Mhm.
ready to sell it. But I want to make sure I get a good deal.
You're ready. You are ready to sell, and we absolutely want to make sure you do get a good deal. Could you remind me again why it is you're looking to sell?
Well, I'm changing locations. I have to
Great.
move.
Great. Where do you want to go?
I'm going over on the East Coast.
On the East
of
Coast?
Florida. Yes.
Fantastic. And what's the timeline that you want to get out to the East Coast of Florida?
Well, actually, it's for a new job, so I need to be out, in about 6 months.
Got it. Got it. So from what it is you're telling me, you need to sell your property and get out to the East Coast of Florida within 6 months?
Yeah, but if this market, I don't know. I'm really concerned about where it's going to go. I'm afraid I'm going to lose money if I sell.
I understand that. Okay. Would you be open to actually having a conversation with a local expert here? Because I understand, the national guys, they speak national news. What's important here is your community and how that's being impacted.
Yes, if you have information that guy on TV doesn't, I'm open to it. I'd like to hear it.
Fantastic. Now, Brian, I'm looking at my calendar right now.
You guys hey, Dylan, you're at the table.
I'm at the table.
Yep.
Got it.
When we do this,
Oh,
we're
so we're already
always
at the
on the
meeting.
table.
Okay.
Got 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yep. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, Brian. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to go over that with you. Okay. Sorry, my brain's in a rut right now. Sorry.
Mine
Yep.
too.
Sorry.
Well, that's a great thing right there. At least Dylan's recognizing, okay, I don't know where I'm going. Rather than rambling, he's going to phone a friend. I gave a presentation the other day on Zoom. I was late to the presentation and I was totally discombobulated. And it was probably the worst presentation I ever gave since 6th grade. And I just didn't know what I was, sometimes you just need to say, hey, look, I just need to regroup. So you started out great. I did correct him a little bit on the isolation. Remember, the isolation is very simple other than that. And we're keeping this simple. However, I want to ask this question because this is listening enhanced. Do you remember what Brian said when he asked the isolating question? Other than that, anything else keeping you from moving forward? Did you hear what he said? Who can tell me what he said? I want you guys to practice listening. Nobody? It's amazing, you guys. If you guys go back and watch this, what you will pick up that you didn't hear the first time. He said, well, I don't really have anything else of what? Major concern. When they say major concern, you got to listen to that because that could be a little bit of rust you're painting over. You got it? All right, next in line. Thanks, Dylan. Nice job. You can lower your hand right now. Sandra, are you ready?
I hope so.
All right, now good job, Brian. I need another seller. Or do you want a seller or a buyer, Sandra?
I'll do a seller.
All right, so I need a new seller. Who's ready to play seller? Dylan's got his hand up. All right, that's fine, Dylan. All right, I'm staying with the same objection because I haven't seen this one handled the way I want you guys to handle. You were going, Dylan, you were going down the right path until I interrupted you because I wanted you to isolate. Then you forgot the path. You were gaining clarity on what he meant by I'm concerned about the market. So I'm giving you some hints, Sandra. You should be able to do this. You've heard too. Dylan says, while you're at the table, I'm concerned about the market. Go.
So Dylan, can you tell me exactly what you're...
Whoa. Now you're forgetting the model.
Oh, do you want me to start over at the top there?
Yes, because I want people to hear it.
My bad.
Okay.
Okay, Dylan, so I understand that you've got concern about the market, which is understandable. Can you help me understand what your biggest concern is about the market right now?
I know I'm interrupting again. What did you forget this time?
Well, I don't know. I thought I acknowledged
Isolate.
it.
You didn't isolate.
I was getting to that. I thought I was isolating that.
No, the isolation is other than that. Write that down. Get a tattoo on your forehead. Other than that.
Okay, Dylan, other than that concern that you have, is there any other reason why you wouldn't list with me today?
Beautiful.
You know, I don't know. You know, I mean, it's a pretty big concern I've got. How can you help? Do you know something I don't?
Oh, that's a curveball.
Actually, I do.
Mhm.
So let me address the issue at hand. Is what you're hearing on the news is national news, and let's kind of pare it down to our local news. So right now in Houston, our local economy is still doing fairly well. So therefore, our sales are doing well.
Hang on. Is that a question or a statement?
It's a statement.
So when we make a statement, are they going to take it at face value or are they going to push back?
Let me rephrase that then. So Dylan, with the fact that our local economy is doing well, do you feel that's going to affect our real estate world?
In a positive or negative sense?
Either way, which way do you think it's going to affect us?
I mean, yeah, here in Houston, it's the market or the economy is doing well. You know, yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't help with the housing market.
So with our economy doing well, do you feel like that the real estate economy works hand in hand with our local economy?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being the case, we're doing well economically. Our real estate market is doing well. So can I have the opportunity to show you how well we can get your home sold for you? And see if I can show you how we can market your home in the state the economy is in right now and to get you moved on to the next season of your life.
Now, I'm going to call time. I'm going to stop my watch. Now, how, do you feel like you are?
I'm rambling.
Okay. You know,
Be nice.
let me help you with this. Then we'll go on to another one. Okay. So this is what I wanted you guys to do. I'm just going to do one thing really quick. So Dylan, you're still the seller, right?
Yep.
All right. Again, I understand you guys are adding words to it and you're going to get in a bad habit of adding too many words. Just say, I understand. Other than that, Dylan, anything else that's keeping you from moving forward today?
No, not that I can
Good.
really think of. Nothing big. No.
All right. So we're going to go fast here. You had said you're concerned about the market. Tell me more. What does that mean to you? That's the question you guys didn't ask. That's the Uber driver turning around saying, where are you going? You guys were driving without a destination. That's why you were lost. Does that make sense, Sandra?
Yeah, it does. Say it again. Tell me what did you say? I was writing it down.
What does that mean to you?
Yeah, thank you.
What's concerning you, Dylan?
About the market specifically, I feel like I missed out. We were red hot for the last couple of years. Finally got my ducks in a row, and I feel like with this market, I'm trying to catch a dropping knife, and it just doesn't feel like how it did 6 months ago when I was excited for it.
Now, is that a realistic statement a seller might make now? Now, again, when I'm asking him what he thinks about, what is concern about the market, you've got to go back and don't over acknowledge, you guys. You'll be like a parrot. I understand. Just say, okay, what else? Is there anything else? Because he said, well, I might have missed out. I'm writing the words down. What is there anything else that concerns you?
Yeah. No, aside from that, just feeling like I may have missed out on something good.
So just so I understand, you said, well, let me ask you this. If we had a DeLorean with a flux capacitor and we could go back to the market of 6 months ago, would you have done anything different?
Would have sold with where we are now. Yeah.
Okay. And so what would you have sold it for back then?
Back then, I think I probably could have gotten 350 for it.
350?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys in San Francisco, don't laugh because that won't even buy a bathroom. Okay. So what do you think the market will deliver for you now?
I don't know. I'm seeing homes, a couple blocks away that are like 310 sitting. And I'm afraid to even ask.
Okay, so would you say somewhere between, maybe that was $40,000 or $50,000 difference, right?
Yeah.
I got it. Now, when you guys write this down, make a note of this. Whenever somebody's talking about dollars, what they could have got some time ago, interest rate, blah, 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 you've got to break it down into something tangible. So right now he's balled up that he may be able to sell it for $40,000, maybe $50,000 less than he could have at the peak. Now, this is what Dylan had, right, when he was with the agent. Well, tell me, let's go back. Let's see if you can remember the motivation. Why do you want to sell in the first place?
I'm actually looking.
It was a job transfer.
Yeah, the job transfer out to the East Coast of Florida.
Right. And when did you want to be there?
If I can be there within 6 months, that'd be fantastic. I need to move for this new job.
So are you saying that you don't want to sell because because I'm using his word, you missed out, yet you have to, this is not a voluntary move. You're moving for a job, right?
Right.
So what is your alternative versus selling?
Gamble and rent the house out.
You see, sometimes you guys, I'm getting clarity because we want to understand his motivation, and we also need to find out where his pain is. So, all right, so you might rent it out. So I'm not drilling there. I'm going to go back. Now, Dylan, you made one other statement. How long have you owned the home?
9 years.
Somebody tell me where I'm going with that. Why do you want to know that?
Equity.
That's exactly right. So if he's owned the home a year or a year and a half or more, has he not made a lot of money? So
Yes.
9 years, oh my gosh. I mean, do you remember what you paid for the home?
Yeah. 97,000. Got a steal on it.
Well, let's make it 100,000 because I can do my math faster that way.
Yeah.
So help me understand something.
Mhm.
Let me just ask this question. So if you had a buddy that went to the casino and he was at the table, he started with 100,000 and he won up to 350,000. And then he got on a losing streak, and now he, instead of having $350,000 in winning plus 250,000, he's down 50,000. And he's on a losing streak, let's say. So do you think he should stay there and keep going until he wins up to 350, or would he be a winner to walk away?
Yeah, no, he'd be a winner to walk away.
Now, that's how I have walked him into, one of the ways you can walk him into the fact that he is so in essence, then you paid 90 cents, you paid $100,000 for it, you're going to get 300. That's a 300% return. And you think, I would call you a winner, wouldn't you?
Hey, I'll go grab my wife if you want to say that again. Yeah.
So give me some feedback on the difference on how I handled it to get some clarity on what he meant by I'm concerned about the market. And I walked him into letting him realize, and there's one more way to do it. If he says that I should have sold a year ago, and then you guys this is where you went the first time. This is what Ann did right away. So she's putting this in just down at the right spot. If you made the mistake, if you're admitting you would have sold 6 months ago and you didn't, that would be kind of saying like you did not anticipate what the market was going to do. Would that be accurate?
Correct.
So how will you feel 6 months from now if your home is worth 250? So if he's going to rent it and it's worth 250, what if it's never worth 300 again? That's the pain. Y'all got it? Let's do another one. I got the hand up. James. All right. I'm going to reset my phone. Number, you can't take 9. 1 to 10.
Let's try number 1.
Number 1, it is. Okay, this is a seller. I need a seller, please. Somebody without their hand up. Gil, is that you?
Yes, it is.
All right, Gil, you're the seller, and this is the objection. You're at the table, and you're the seller, this is one of the sellers, my house isn't ready yet. Go.
So Gil, great sitting down with you today. So let's talk about your home. So you feel like it's not ready to sell?
That's correct.
Okay, so other than that, is there any reason why you wouldn't put it on the market today?
Nope, I just need to make sure that I've got it ready and have it be in a presentable situation.
Now, what does presentable mean to you, Gil?
Somebody walks to the house and sees the front of it and the interior, that everything's in good repair and there's no paint that's needed. The carpet needs to be addressed. Clutter is out of the house, that type of thing.
Okay, and how much time do you think it would take you to get it ready for that, Gil?
Probably 2 weeks.
Okay, so that's a reasonable amount of time. So what if we went ahead and got it listed and then we go ahead and start, exposing it to the market, and then we can go ahead and work on getting it more presentable within that 2-week period? How does that sound?
Well, that might defeat my purpose of wanting to improve the property before the pictures are taken.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Gil. So a lot of times people think, you spend $1 to get 80 cents back on a return. Are you familiar with the NAR analysis of repairs, of the cost benefit?
No.
Okay, so what that does is it kind of gives you an analysis of how much you spend to do upgrades and repairs to the home and what you get back on the sales side. So do you feel like the market is working in your favor right now, or do you feel like it's working against you?
Well, I think right now it's kind of middle of the road.
Okay, so you think 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to be basically where it is now?
I don't have a crystal ball.
Right, neither do I. No one really does, right? So do you think it would be better to maybe get it on the market now in case it does go the other direction?
Yeah, if I put it on the market now, people might want concessions for things that aren't done yet.
Well, again, I mean, if you're going to spend the money to do it up front now, to make more sense to let them pay for it and fix it the way they want it once they buy the house?
That would be true, with the exception of most people want you to pay for it.
True, but I mean, if they want to change the paint or they want to fix the interior, they can pick their own color, right?
Right, I'm not talking about changing paint or fixing carpet. I'm talking about actually making it presentable. I don't think
Okay.
it's in a presentable condition right now.
So kind of like staging, is that what you're talking about, Gil? Getting it ready for walkthroughs?
Not so much staging, just making sure the entire interior of the home, the paint looks good, the carpet looks good, that type of thing.
Okay, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we
1
do
minute.
why don't we do a couple of exterior pictures and get it on the market? Let's test it at the price that it's at in case the market works against us and starts going down. At least we can expose it to the market and see what kind of reaction we get. Does that make sense?
And we could probably do that without interior pictures.
Yeah, and then what we could do is as soon as you get it cleaned up, you figure about 2 weeks, we'll go ahead and come in and get the interior pictures. Does that work?
Don't fold, Gil. You're doing good. Don't
Come
fold.
on, Denny.
Gil was
Well,
doing. you're
that'll
doing a great
work,
job.
except
I'm
I've
not
got a neighbor.
convinced. James,
got
I'm
a-
not convinced.
I've got a neighbor who completely redid the interior of their house and put everything on in pristine condition the minute it went, and it sold in 3 days.
And how long ago was that, Gil?
About a month ago.
About a month ago. Okay. And how much money did they put into the house? Do you know?
I think all told, they put somewhere around $10,000.
Okay. And how long did it take them to get it ready?
2 weeks.
That's time.
Okay.
James, awesome job asking questions. You did a really good job of that. Anybody have a comment on what you saw there? We're going to do it again. So get ready. Is it Tanner?
Yes.
Yeah, you're in the batter's box. So get ready. So give me some comments, you guys. Come on, anybody. If you got your hand up or whatever, give me some comments.
I could be wrong, but with Gil was saying it's not presentable. James was just kind of like guessing, like, is it paint? Is it this? And instead of maybe clarifying, like when you think, when you're saying presentable, what does that mean? That's what I picked up on.
Okay. What else, you guys?
I guess he was concerned about losing a certain amount of money, perhaps, or getting a certain amount of money. So probably I would have dig into that a little more. to see what he's trying to save and make, basically.
Okay, so let's do that. Take that, where are you, Gil? You still there?
Yes.
Ask him that question. That's a good one, Tanner. Ask him.
All right, Gil, I understand, you know, you want to make the house ready and so you can get the most money possible. How much money do you think you need to spend just to make it, you know, in that condition, or just to bring it up to that condition?
I think I need to spend about $10,000.
Okay, $10,000, and you believe $10,000 will solve the problem, basically will help you get that number?
I don't know if it'll solve the problem. It'll make me feel more comfortable about putting my house on the market and it looks more presentable.
More presentable, I understand. And Gil, basically, what is the goal though? What is the number you're trying to get at the end of the day?
I'm going to stop you right there. That's exactly where my mind's going, because watch this. Plug your ears, Tanner. What he's going to say next. Gil, answer the question. I'll tell you where he's going. Gil, what's your number?
My number would be 350,000.
Hang on. I'm going to write down his next question. All right, go. What's your question, Tanner?
And what does that do for you exactly? What's the reason for that specific number?
Skip that question. We don't have time for that. So that's motivation.
All right. Other than that, is there any other reason you would still basically?
Now we've already done all that. He said, "I want 350." What's the next question you need to ask? It's right there. It's pick the orange or grapefruit or whatever you happen to have.
I don't see them, unfortunately.
Anybody want to give me the next question?
How do you?
I'll go for it.
Go.
Is he willing to sell it for less?
Ooh, that hurt.
Equity.
Why wouldn't you ask this question? Well, if you could get 350 in the condition it's in now, would you move forward? I want you
Question
guys.
for me.
So Gil, so let's what if there's a buyer out there that doesn't want you to do that? What if they would give you 350 now and you don't have to invest the money and the time and all that hassle? Would you sell to 350?
Well, my first question would be, do you have a buyer that's going to offer me that?
Well, it's hard for me to say I have a buyer if I haven't exposed it. Are you ready to expose it with me today?
Sure. Let your office know it's available and send me an offer. I'll give you a one-party show.
Oh, I see. So you're not going to hire a professional to represent you, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
When?
As soon as I'm ready to put the house on the market.
All right. So now he wants to turn into Freddy Krueger on me. Okay. So all right, hang on, Tanner. You hang on. We'll come back to you. Jacob, take over.
What was his last statement? Whenever he's ready for the market?
Yeah, now he's pushing back. Yeah, I gave him if I could get 350 now, but oh yeah, well, I'm not going to put it on the market until I get my house ready. Where do you take it from there?
I would probably say, well, Gil, we don't know what someone's going to offer unless we put it on the market. You never know who's going to walk in here and rather or be willing to put in the money for it, and they'll pay $350 for it right now and fix it up how they want to. Have you ever considered that?
That's something I could think about.
What? Now you're turning into a marshmallow. Come on. That's not even a logical answer based on where you were a minute ago. You're being mean to me. No, I'll take over. Gil's getting soft on me. Where are you? There you are, Jacob. No, I want to wait till I get this place, fixed up. It looks like a freaking Cracker Barrel in here.
So tell me what that looks like for you. What would it take for you to get it fixed up?
About $10,000 in 2 weeks.
Okay, so if we put $10,000 in 2 weeks and we put it on the market and it comes back and the best offer you get is $320, are you willing to do that?
Well, I've done what I think I need to do, putting the money into the house to sell it. I don't have a crystal ball on what it'll exactly sell for. I can just put this house together the best that I could.
Of course. So the best offer we get, you put your 10,000 in, the best offer we get is 320. I mean, you just lost out on, what is that, about $40,000. I mean, if that's what you're willing to do, I can post it up for you, but I just want to get you the best deal. So if you want to move forward right now, we can definitely get it on the market and see what it does.
All right, I'm going to call time that we beat this to death. Here, you guys are going to run into somebody like that who really wants to get it. Here's one question I'd ask, and we'll put a pin in this one. So let me ask you this. Have you made the decision to let me represent you when your house is ready? Gil, Earth to Gil.
Yes, I'm here.
Have you made the decision?
I think of the people that I've interviewed, you're probably the most qualified I've had.
Now, if you'd ask your significant other, your bride, will you marry me? And she said, well, I think you're the most qualified I've met so far. Is that a really strong yes or not? So
well, you're looking at two different things. This is two guys talking about a thing, and you're talking about somebody trying to get to marry you. Negotiation tactics are completely different. There's people that are don't want to wait. Objections don't mean it's kind of like, it's not like pixie dust where you can make, sprinkle it and everything happens. So maybe not. However, I think we covered that enough. Is any comment on that, Gil? I would never want to make you mad. Okay. All right. So let's go. Number next. Okay. Tanner, you're up as the agent and you get to pick a number. 1 to 10. You're muted. You're muted, Tanner.
My apologies. 7.
Yeah, but we couldn't hear you. You're muted. Okay. Okay. I love this one. I need another seller. Somebody equally as tough as Gil. Who?
I'll be a seller.
Who's that? Rich?
It's Luke. I'm using Rich's link though.
Okay, Luke, you got it. All right. You're at the table and you're the seller and you say the other agent said they would charge less. Tanner, are you ready?
I am.
All right. I'm getting my timer. Follow the model, please. I don't want to have to interrupt you. Go.
Thank you. And it was Luke, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Luke, yeah, that's right.
Luke,
Yes.
I understand. The other agent, will charge less. Other than that, Luke, is there any other reason why you wouldn't move forward with me today?
For time's sake, say no.
Just trying to get the best deal. That's all.
So you're trying to get the best deal. I understand. And what does that best deal look for you like?
Well, one guy told me he would do 4% total. 2.5 to the buyer, 1.5 to the seller side.
So 4% in total. That's what he told you, correct?
Right.
Okay. And did he tell you exactly like what he's gonna do for that 4%? Did you clarify?
He said he'd do professional photos. They'd put a sign in the yard. I think that was about it. They put it on the MLS, of course.
Okay, I get that. I appreciate that again. Now, again, if I may ask you, like, what was the reason you're making this move? What was the exact reason you're making this move?
We just want a bigger house, extra bedroom.
Extra bedroom, bigger house. Okay. And what was the time frame we're looking at?
Really, it's just whenever we can. If we can get a good deal on selling and do that within the next couple months, that'd be great. It's not going to kill us if it doesn't work out, but
I understand. And now I'll give you 2 scenarios basically. If you were to choose between making that move right now in this current market, still get more money for your house, and of course, get a deal for the next one, versus waiting down the road, which one would you pick?
Now versus waiting?
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to do it now versus later if possible.
Wonderful. And now, would it matter for you, like, what's the percentage in that at the end of the day if you still achieve your goals?
True, but when we have options, obviously we've interviewed a couple agents.
1 minute. Keep going.
So you still want to interview other agents? I appreciate you sharing that. Now,
I don't think that's what he said. I'm sorry. I think he's talked to a couple of agents. I
Yeah,
don't think
past,
yes. I interrupted, so I didn't want to break your chain of thought. Keep going. You got 50 seconds.
so you talked to other agents, and so basically, those agents were able to tell you if they could do it right now versus waiting.
Yeah, they could do it right now.
I understand. Now, if I were to show you exactly, basically, Danny, I'm sorry, I'm just a little stuck here.
That's okay. That's okay. That's why we practice, you guys. That's why we practice. I'm really proud of you guys for stepping up because it's not easy. If this were like a Zumba class, you'd want me to come to the front of the room and practice Zumba. I wouldn't feel comfortable at all, and you wouldn't enjoy it either. So you a couple points. Get ready, Jacob. You're going to go on the same objection. Okay, you had your hand up. You're going to go next. Then we'll do a people's choice one. Does anybody have a comment? Why maybe the Tanner got a little lost?
I think asking what they want to net is important, wouldn't you think?
Okay. All right. That could
'Cause
be
what-
a good question. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I think it's always difficult when someone throws the statement that I can get it done for less percentage, because that's a hard one to try to explain why your services are so much better.
Yeah, the interesting thing, you guys, is that when Tanner asked, what is he gonna do for that service, for that fee? There's companies out there that their model is just a lower commission, and they're gonna do the photos, they're gonna do the virtual tour, they're gonna put it on MLS or whatever, right? And so and I don't know what you might be able to come out and pull some sort of rabbit out of your hat and why you can do it different or better. However, I would be a tough one to convince. There is something though that's missing. Now, I don't want to steal Jacob's thunder, because Jacob, this is on you. This is going to be, because we don't have to do the upfront. Let's do 2.5 minutes and let's take it from where it is. Unmute yourself and see if you can't. Take it from where he said. This is the other agent said they do it for 4%. Take it from there. 2 minutes.
So Luke, right? Sorry.
Yeah, it's Luke.
Yeah.
So Luke, tell me, what's more important to you, is getting the best bang for your buck or paying a lower commission?
Well, I would say I'm getting a decent bang for my buck with the other guy. I mean, 4% with professional photography, marketed online and on the MLS. Why would that not get me my best bang for my buck?
I don't know, actually. That was a bad way to go.
Well, I'll tell you, in golf, off the first tee, what do they call the second shot?
A mulligan.
There you go. So you get them all again. Go again, Jacob.
Oh man, I really don't like this objection.
Okay. So do you think you'd ever get it?
Would I ever get it? Is that what you're asking me?
Would you ever get that objection from sellers where you live?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Now, then you might want to handle it then. Okay. All right. Come on. Let's go. You got this. You got this.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not good at that one.
Andrew,
Sorry.
you had your hand up. You want to take it? Who's next? Get your camera on. All right. Did you have your hand up, Brian?
Yeah, Denny, just one quick on that. So Luke, can I ask you, if that agent is willing that quickly to drop their commission?
Stop. Hang on just a second, though. You're on the right track. There should be a question first. Okay. Let me just help you here. How do you know he dropped the commission? How do you know he dropped it? He could be a 4% broker.
Okay,
Ask that question first.
okay. Luke, the other agent that's doing your offer for 4%, did he start out at 4% or did you negotiate that down?
I'm not, keep your train of thought. That's the perfect question. When they say that somebody can do it for less, did they come in at that number, or did the seller out negotiate the professional negotiator and come down on fee?
I like that.
That's the weak part. That's the weak part of the argument. You're on the right track, Brian. Keep going.
All right, let me see if I can finish on that. So Luke, was that the original offer for that agent, or did they drop their commission rate?
They had an option to do 5% with staging, and then they had a couple other marketing pieces. And then I think they even had like a 3D tour for the 5%. I just told them I didn't want that. I didn't think that was necessary. So I went with 4% option. I don't think he really dropped it. He just had multiple options.
Okay, Luke, well, if he's willing to do it for 4%, how much, here, hang on, Denny, I'm trying to put it together.
I get it.
How
That's right.
hard do
Who's
you-
ready?
Luke, how hard do you think he's willing to negotiate the price on your home? If he's willing to drop his own commission?
Well, again, he didn't really drop. He had like 3 different options.
Mhm.
He didn't really
Right,
drop
but-
his commission. I just
Right,
option.
right, and not to-
Keep going.
right. But see, I don't do that. We offer everything, but we negotiate on your behalf. Maybe I'll ask you again, how much intensity do you think he'll negotiate with on your behalf?
All right, I'm going to stop you. That dog's not going to hunt because the guy didn't negotiate anything away.
Okay.
He had options.
Okay.
All right,
Where would I
Sandra,
go?
you had your hand up. You ready? Then we'll go to, yeah, well, wait, I got 2 Sandras. So I got
Oh.
Sandra and then I got Houston. Go ahead, Houston. You're muted.
Okay, so we're at 4%. So, this other agent came in and said he would do it for 4%, and he,
You had a menu of services, right? And basically you chose the middle. You didn't want the full menu, correct?
Correct.
okay, so Luke, so is it more important for you to have paid a lower commission, or is it more important for you to maximize the dollar amount of the sale of your home? And do you feel like,
One question at a time.
sorry,
I tend to think that the staging and the extra marketing that they offered with the higher commission wouldn't really help me in my sales. So that's kind of why I went with their bottom option. And I wanted to interview some more agents to kind of see what kind of options that they had.
okay, why do you feel like the staging and the other options would not help your home? Is there a reason you feel that way?
I mean, my home is very, very clean already. We vacated. It's very nice already. I tend to think that throwing in some furniture would only mildly help it.
Okay,
And to save a percent on commission, it was worth it to me.
Now I'm gonna just interject something. He's talking about a percentage. What did I say about 8 minutes or 10 minutes ago? When a percentage comes up, when an interest rate comes up, you've got to quantify it. What is that percentage? How do you find out, Sandra?
it's a great question, Denny.
So, all right. So what price are we talking about here, Lou?
I figure my house could go for like $850.
All right. So we're talking, you're attempting to save $8,500. Is that correct?
$8,500 roughly. Yeah. I mean, he had more than just staging for 5%. It wasn't like he just like dropped the percent just for staging. He offered to like drop 1,000 flyers in the community. He was going to like do 3D tour of the property. I think he was going to do, what was it? A diagram of the floor plan of the house. So he had a lot of things with the 5%, but the biggest one obviously with the staging and the 3D tour. And I figured dropping 1% wouldn't hurt me at all. Be fine. I'd be able to sell it just as much.
I got Sandra's, not Sandra Houston, another Sandra Sos. Your hands up. I don't have a camera on you. So are you wanting to take over?
Yeah, I just that I don't know. I have to get out of the Zoom to put the camera on the phone. What I notice is nobody is talking about where the buyers are coming from and how the commission is split. So maybe we should ask something like, okay, so out of that 4%, how is it going to be distributed between buyer's side and seller's side? Did they tell you? And then shift to the part where we said,
hang on. He did tell us that up front. It's 2.5 to the buyer side, 1.5 to the listing agent side.
oh, okay. Oh, I appreciate you telling me. So I'm surprised they can even run their business with 1.5%. So I am going to let you know that my strong negotiation skills are probably worth more than that $12,000 that you're going to think you're saving by cutting the commission. And let me ask you, do you know how, realtors bring their customers to see homes, how they choose, which ones they choose first? So basically, this is how it's going to work. When
hang on, let him answer.
Okay.
I'm not sure. What do you think?
Oh, okay, great question. So basically, your home is going to be competing at every time between, another 3-4 homes in your neighborhood. And the agents are going to be using your home to sell the other homes that are offering them a 3% commission. So which home do you think is going to be sold first?
Oh, so let me get this straight. You're saying that the homes that offer a 3% commission to the buyer side tend to sell better?
Correct.
Wait a minute.
So
Now,
basically,
wait. Hang on. This is too good. Sandra, that was a good question. It could have been asked a little bit better. Luke, you are playing this perfectly. Now, rather than answer the question, what would be a better way for him to self-discover? Why don't you put him in the shoes of a real estate agent? How would one do that?
Okay, so Luke, are you aware of how real estate buyers agents work?
We just went through that. You just went through that fine. This is what I'm saying. Well, Luke, let me ask you, if you were a real estate agent and you had a buyer out there and you wanted to make a sale, and one house was paying you 3%, and one other house was paying you 2.5%, and you only had one buyer, which one would you maybe push or show first?
Well, shoot, if I was a crappy realtor, then I'd go for the higher commission. But if I was an honest, hardworking one, I wouldn't care.
Okay, great. And how do we know which one is gonna be the one that brings you the buyer?
Well, okay, so
True.
Hang on, Sandra, just hang on. I'm going to drive the bus here for a second. So, well, okay, let's assume there's no ethics there. Which one would a good business person show first?
I guess the higher net, on their commission, I guess.
And you wouldn't blame them for that, right?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're literally eliminating ethics, yeah.
It's not an ethics thing. It's a business decision. If your buyer's going to buy one home, which one are you rooting for them to buy? I'm just being transparent with you, because understand, even before I went to all this conversation, we'll finish this. Here's what I would ask first. Luke, are you saying if we agree on fee, you're going to select me to be your agent?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that was the biggest concern for us. I mean, your business seems to have a lot of experience. I love your marketing. I love your, the years of experience that you have versus this other guy. But I'm just trying to wrap my mind around, is it worth that extra % or 1.5%?
What I'm suggesting is, if we can get together on fee, because I appreciate what you said. So if we can come to a meeting of the minds on fee, are we going to work together? So let's just assume you say yes for time's sake. I want you to get to that point before you go through all these gyrations, because if he's not going to use you, it doesn't matter what you do. Now, if he says yes, now we still have some wood to chop. Now he said he said some things in the last couple of minutes here about my experience. He basically gave you some ways to really leverage yourself. So let me ask you, what's more important to you, saving money or making money on this house?
Making money, of course.
Well, have you ever been in a buying situation where what you're looking at may be cheaper, but it's not better?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It'd be cheaper, but it's not necessarily better.
So based on our marketing, which you said you love, and our level of experience, which you also love, if I can demonstrate to you that that might be able to put more money in your pocket to cover the $8,000. So maybe I'm not more expensive, only better. Have you thought about that?
Honestly, I have thought about that, and I think that's a really good point to bring up.
So imagine you guys are fishing, and Luke, you did a really good job with that. I like the way you did that role play. He was still running with the hook. You've got to get a question. You've got to somehow stop him from taking the line off your reel. And I did that by saying, well, if you take the money out of the equation, are we going to work together? Now then you can start to reel back in. So I was a pretty good job. So let's have some ahas. It's about 1 or 2 minutes before we go. Don't hang up yet, you guys. Verbally give us some ahas. So I'm not watching the chat now. I'm watching you.
Danny, I just had a quick question on this role play. Does it make sense to ask them does it really matter like what they pay on commission if they net what they want from the house? Is that even a good question?
It's a great question. However, in the market we're in right now, it's different than the market we were in 6 months ago or a year and a half ago. I mean, they might be getting less for their home moving forward in some marketplaces. So again,
That's true, but if they only want to net 200,000, for example, then does it matter if they're paying 5% or 4% if they're still netting 200,000?
I have never met a seller that really didn't. I just want to net this. I don't care what you make. So if you make 25%, that's cool. I just want to net 200. That may happen, and you guys can speak up if that happens, because I think the definition of a great listing agent is to maximize the return of equity to a seller in the time they have available. So yes, it's a great question. It is a great question. I just find sellers want every dime they can get.
True.
Isn't it a good idea to, in that point, explain to the seller why your service is superior to somebody else who's just going to come in and cut their commission? Explain to them that you're the one who's going to be vetting the buyers, making sure their loans are appropriate and those type of situations.
Well, yes, but I wouldn't be kind of giving them a Stephen King novel. I said, well, let me ask you this, for example. What do you know about that agent's operation? Is he an individual agent or do they have a team? I would be asking them questions to explain my value proposition. Absolutely.
Hey, Denny, wouldn't you also talk to him about the flip side of the coin, that if he's willing to do it for 1.5, then he has to do volume in order to make any money. And the only way he does volume is underpricing your house or selling it quickly on the market. So you're probably not going to get nearly as much as if you have it professionally marketed.
Yes, if you can do it in a series of questions without making a statement, because they're not going to believe you if you tell them anything.
Right, but we don't have enough time to do a bunch of questions. I just was curious.
Oh, no, you're exactly right. That would be a path. Did anybody learn something today? You guys were great on the role play. I appreciate your participation, and both the agents and sellers were great. What did you learn? Give me 2 or 3 things, somebody that you've learned today.
I say that, even 20 years into this, I still have to work on this and not come across combative with people, but ask more questions, because, we are in Texas, we talk a lot, so.
Thank you, Sandra.
Awesome. I have to keep fine tuning my questions, and you get them shorter and more concise and more specific. So thank you again.
Oh, you guys are great. Gil?
Don't be surprised or look afraid when somebody asks you a question. be prepared for more questions than you think they're going to ask so that you can react appropriately.
Right. Well, you guys were awesome today. And this last time I'm going to tell you you're awesome, although I think you're awesome, is that you admitted you got stuck. Now, what did it cost you to get stuck today?
Nothing.
What would it cost on an appointment?
A listing.
Thousands of dollars. In the words of Hill Street Blues, whoever remembers that show, anybody? Be
Yes.
careful out there. Love you, mean it. See ya.
Take care. Thank you, Denny. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.